Warning! The video you are about to watch is known as an Epicsode. This means Exuma has been cooking with gas and putting a crazy amount of time into this episode. Prepare yourselves for time lapses and redstone madness on an epic level. If you enjoy this episode, be sure to show your support by leaving a like on this video. Thank you!
I said that there wouldn't be a third. I said no way. Exuma can't do another Epicsode. Surely not. Well, today, as you'll know by the title and the thumbnail of this video, that it is time for Epicsode number 3. And we're back over here at the Octavoid. And this will be the conclusive episode. Or, sorry, correcting myself there, Epicsode, because the last two have both been worked on in this area. And we are now left with one humongous task ahead of myself that is unlike anything we have done before. It does not involve digging though. It involves building redstone, hoppers, chests, and my brain getting tangled into mush as we attempt to make an insane sorting system with some crazy cool features. Now, there's going to be a lot of talk in this episode about what we're putting together. There's going to be a lot of resource gathering. It's going to take me a lot of time, and it will be recorded over a long period of time as well, in between other episodes. But let me bring you up to speed. This is the Octavoid. There is a beautiful sight to be seen on the other side. We have finished building our Guardian farms. The drops collect down below. There is now that beautiful prismarine room over here. Let's actually go have a look at that. It's been ages since I've seen this. This place is gorgeous and very well lit up, might add, and I'm going to guess that probably most of these chests are full by now. But what we want to do in the middle of this room is build a storage system, and actually there is going to be, well, if I could jump around correctly, that would be nice. There's going to be a glass platform level with these blocks right here, which will lead out into the middle of the Octavoid, and it is in the very middle that we shall be constructing a ginormous sorting system. It's going to be a really cool project, but the reason we need it is because we have a ton of items to be sorted. And if you've been watching all of the episodes and keeping up to date with what we've been doing, we have stashed a load of stuff in this place, which was inconveniently in the side of the Octavoid, and then behind it we have also gone and gathered a ridiculous amount of materials, loaded them up into chests. We've got loads of stuff that are just jumbled and unorganized and left behind in shulker boxes, and I want to automatically sort all of them. Is that okay with you? I hope it is. So first things first, resource gathering is the name of the game, and oh my god, it's going to take us hours, or maybe not, because bam, I've already done it. I've been out there getting the materials. I don't need to go into detail, do I? But this is most of the stuff that we're going to use to build this. We're going to build it out of andesite blocks, I think, unless I change my mind, which is going to be about another 12 or 13 stacks of blocks. But most importantly, what we want to start off with is our black stained glass. So this thing is just going to extend from this point right here. There's a block missing on the side, and we're going to have like a free wide path that is going to lead to the very middle of this room. And that's the first thing I need to do, is peg out where the exact middle of this thing is, which, when I think about it and say it out loud, is going to be quite easy because it sort of points to the very center of the room over there, right? And it's across this platform that we will walk through into the middle of the room and be able to use our sorting system. I've found the middle, and it is indicated by this torch here. There you go. The sea lantern is directly above it. That was nice and easy. But the middle of our storage system goes 14 blocks in this direction to the edge and 23 in the other direction. So it's a bit of a strange middle, but our storage system will be broken down into 4 different sections, right? And there's going to be 4 different types of storage. So we're not going for something like we've done in the past. We're going for something over the top and super crazy. And it starts off with a little bit here on the side where you put your items. Now, I'm tempted to like rush in and start building this thing, but I think I need to think over the project a little bit more and just see if there hasn't been anything I've overlooked so far. Well, that was a good idea, because the platform widens out to 5 blocks across here in the middle. And then what I was going to have to be really cool was have the storage system like a block over, so there'd actually be a gap that you could fall down onto. But after a while I figured, Why don't we just put glass one block lower in case you happen to fall down into that gap. So anyway, over here at the middle you will notice, or probably not, that the glass is sort of broken up here. It's really hard to see because YouTube is going to compress this video and we're in a crazy dark area as well. What we're going to have here is the unloading station. Now I want all of this stuff to work with shulker boxes. So this is like our master input. Whenever we got something that needs sorting out, we put it into this chest. But if we've got shulker boxes, which I frequently use to do projects, we've got 4 of these spaces on either side. And this is for me to like whack down one of these on top of. I'm not going to place it because I just want to take the item straight back out again. But then we can plop down 4 of those at the same time as well. And then underneath here we'll be taking the items into an item elevator. And that's when it goes into the first section of the storage system. So I've decided we are going to time-lapse the construction of parts of this, so prepare yourself for music. It's kind of a tradition to do time-lapses in an Epicsode, and that was a terrible throw, and that was an even worse one. Let's try one more time, and into the hopper it goes. We're testing this item elevator. We should see the, there they go, the torches, and then that means, yeah, we've built it correctly. Well, that build came together fairly well. Do you know what? I've done a lot of big builds like this in my time, and I know how to prepare. I know how to plan out building such a crazy complex machine. And the best thing of all is that it would appear to work. Now, I've cycled the items around this system, and they have all made their way to the end here during the test that I did, which is a very, very good sign. So, this may look slightly familiar to you if you saw Season 3 of Hermitcraft. Yes, it is the same system that we used on there, and where these blocks are where our chests are going to go. Now, the system I built on number 3, I think, was not as wide, but definitely taller. There are like 6 like stacks of chests, and this one's only got 2. Let's remove these blocks and you'll see exactly where it is we're going to put our chests in front, although we're not going to be putting chests here because this is a special sort of sorting system. It is made for shulker boxes. Okay, so there are 8 spaces from one side to the other, 2 up and down, so 16 in total, and there are 16 different colours of shulker boxes that we can make, which is why I've actually brought over a whole bunch of shulker shells with me, but we only need 16 in total. We also need 16 chests, so let's craft these up. I've also got my dies with me because of this amazing ender chest, and when I've crafted these up I'll explain a little bit more what they are for. So I've tried to rainbowify each of these boxes, but the layout isn't too great. We can always revise this. The idea here though is that these are 16 boxes which we are going to put in our ender chest, and this is the first thing in our system that is going to get sorted. So when we have a load of junk items and things we want to empty, we put them into this, it goes up the item elevator into the system, and it cycles through and puts them into each of these shulker boxes. Now what I'm talking about with them being from the ender chest is that these are the things we've already got in here, like the useful box, tools, pearls and food. All of this stuff will basically be color coded. It will be renamed with like special symbols like we've done there to make everything noticeable. But the key thing that we need to do is to fill these up with items. So since wall is the only thing that's going to go in here, we're going to have to keep one of each item type, for example, you know, like that, so that it can be sorted into, because when you leave an open space in one of these, then all of the items coming through your system will go into that shulker box. So it means a big portion of what we're storing inside here will be dedicated and reserved for this system, and those shulker boxes should never be emptied. So let's say you really need like a whole bunch of lime wool. you just got to remember to leave one behind. And also, I just got to say, I haven't opened this chest in a while, and the last time that I did, we weren't in the latest snapshot, so like the wall colours have changed, and it's just sort of hitting me now. So the way that this sorting system works is that the items are going to drop down, and they're going to have a moment where they have a chance to go into the one in front because the hopper below it is locked. So if there is room to go in, or there is a stack of items to become a part of, then the item will go in there. So first part of our storage system is going to go through our shulker boxes that are part of our ender chest. So we are now installing a system that's going to remove these shulker boxes nice and easy for us. And another thought crossed my mind as well. You don't have to put all of these in place. That's the cool thing. If you're putting away some junk and you know that some of it goes into your redstone chest, then you can throw that one down, but the rest of them you could leave empty and the system would work just fine. Now I don't know if these droppers are going to activate the observer blocks, that's the one, but let's find out. The answer is yes. And I thought for a second there we were going to have a clock. But no, it was this thing powering and then unpowering. Okay, so there might be a better way to do that. Did we get all of these back is another question. We seem to be missing just one, and it's actually over here. And there's a reason that there's glass down the bottom here, which is to help you catch those. So that's good. We've got 8 of them back. And now we've got to wire up the top. That's right. Just placing these alone is going to activate them. But it'll be a test. We're also going to need a bit of redstone there. Aha, so the first one didn't activate, but now we'll find out if it does. And that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Oh no! I think... Oh, wait a minute. I think we need to get rid of that redstone, actually. Hang on, hang on. That was bad. Let's try it one more time. Okay. It looked like it was activating the ones at the top. Let's just do that again. It was, but it wasn't getting this one. Alright, I'm not going to press the button again, but it all works now. What I've done is mirrored what's down below, up above, and it activates all of the pistons. And I've also put some extra blocks on this side, so there's a nice frame around it. And it means that all the sides are sort of sealed, so the blocks can only come out and land here on the glass or here, so the player will be able to pick them all up. Now, you'll see that we have some more hoppers and furnaces leading around to the other side. And what is this over here? Well, my oh my. Let me explain that this is a 4-part storage system. There are 4 different modules in this thing. 2 of them are actually going to be the same down there, though. So we've built the first part, which is for sorting out our shulker boxes, which go into our ender chests. The next part is a bulk storage system. This is for the items that we're going to get a lot of coming into the system, and once they've filled up their space in the shulker box, then they can go into bulk storage. So the first 2 that we're going to put down here will be cobblestone and stone, as those are going to be quite common. Now, if I remember correctly, there are 16 spots in total, so 16 different items that can be put into this mass storage system, and I don't really need to show you it too much because you can kind of make it out from the side here, but we've got Impulse's classic item filter system along here as well. So 16 different spots, and there is another catch once again, which is that shulker boxes are going to be included. So I need to lay this out properly. Hopefully I can remember it. We've got to awkwardly jump and place that hopper. We might actually run out of space to build this. It might be kind of awkward, but I'm going to try and build it all on camera so you can see what's going on. Yeah, straight away I'm going to hit my head into this thing, aren't I? Well, a little bit of a setback. I've actually built this entire thing in the wrong spot, and there are 2 ways in which I've done so. The first one appears to be height, and that's kind of worrying because I spent a lot of time triple checking these things. And the second one is position. Now, position makes a lot of sense to me because I built a pillar over here to make sure that this was in the correct spot, but I just turned to the side to build the next part of it without thinking, is that bit there in the correct position? So that's my fault, but the height I'm not really sure because I've triple checked. And anyway, also over here where the items come out of this system, they need to go up a little bit higher to get over there, so you can see that there is a mini item elevator on the side. So the mistake I made wasn't too bad after all. The height is actually at the correct spot, and I had to redesign this thing just a touch. So we moved it out a few more blocks, and I tell you what, I need to put some furnaces over the top of there. But the whole array has been moved back a little bit, and let me break these blocks so you can see what's going on here. And what we've got to do is place some shulker boxes at the front. So the idea here is that our mass storage units will also put the items into shulker boxes, which we can then pick up and take away. So if we're going to work on a project that needs a lot of stone, then we can come over here and pick up the supply that has been filled up. So there are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double chests, which isn't a crazy amount, and there's a fair few hoppers as well. So the one at the top there comes from the item filter and goes into this, which splits it up into the shulker boxes through those hoppers, and the rest will filter down into that one, then like this, and yeah, you can see how it goes. So that is our bulk storage system. Now what I've got to do is build it another 15 times across here. I've got a fun fact for you. I picked up 2 stacks of shulker shells to bring with me to this project, and I've used exactly all of them. And I didn't actually count how many shulker boxes we'd need. It always amuses me when things like that happen. But here you go, it's looking pretty cool, right? And I haven't picked out all the materials that we're going to filter so far. I don't think any of these need any explanation, really. This is coarse dirt, although it would be dirt, but we don't want the grass to spread from one block to another. That's bone block, but it's going to be for bone meal. And then we got iron. And I couldn't think of what other free materials we're going to get in bulk. However, what we do have is loads of the clay colours coming through in bulk, but they're going to go into different chests because otherwise we'd end up like with another 16 of these bulk storage units, all for the different colours of clay, which actually sounds really good. But what we've got reserved for the area over here are one different type of storage system that's going to be built twice over. So anyway, what I'm thinking at the moment looking at this is just lighting, and what I wanted to do was put some torches on the back of those hoppers to sort of illuminate it without you seeing the torch. But you can't do that. You can place it on the top, but not on the side, and that's actually the same as glass. If I try and place it on the side, puts it on the next block over. So we can't do that, unfortunately. But then I noticed what we can probably do is put the torches on the back of these blocks. They wouldn't be visible and they would light up the area very well. Let's head back up top and have a look at it from this side. Let's also climb on top of this thing so you can see how big and monstrous it is. And look at that. The light comes through the chest. It's all lit up really well. We're going to need some light sources up the top as well. And that's stuff I haven't really planned, like preventing mob spawning and where to put light sources. That's something we'll figure out later. So the final part of our storage system is going to be a storage system built twice. One on this side, one on that side over there. And the way that we've been moving the items from here through this system over the top and around there, it's then going to go through all of this one, across that side and through all of this, and then maybe at the end here we'll have some sort of chest for items that never get sorted. So these ones are going to be 6 chests high. They're going to be double wide like this, so it's quite spacious, it's not compact, and it gives us room in between to put a block alongside it that represents it or something like that. We could even throw an item frame on there. But the system that we're about to build we haven't built it yet, was made by Cybot2419. I looked through his world, which is full of lots and lots of different sorting systems, and picked out this one because I liked the layout of it, and it was faster than some other designs. And if you don't remember, Cybot is also the guy who did our Season 3 sorting system, which this one right here is based on, although we've kind of adapted it for shulker boxes. Anyway, it is time for some music, and for me to do a time-lapse of me building one of these sorting systems. I can hear a strange clicking, and it's taken me a while to realise it's that thing over there. So the Guardian farm is working while we're in this area, that's for sure. And this thing is now complete. Awaiting a test though. And to try and explain how it works, I believe the idea is that the items get brought up to the top by the item elevators at the back, and then they drop in here, and you detect them flowing down. So the first one would go in here, and then that comparator would back there detect that the item is there, and then it sort of locks and unlocks the hoppers in chains, so the items can go down one by one with a chance to go into the chest in front of it. When it gets to the bottom though, it goes back up into another item elevator and over to the next side. So you can see this item elevator is in front of these chests, but it brings it over to the next one here. And there is actually one last thing for us to do, and it should be really quite simple. So we're going to put that there, and then I think what we'll have is a dropper on top of it, and that will basically be a container for the next hopper, which is going to be there. Let's do a little jump and connect it over to this thing. So when the items have been through our item filters and they're haven't been put in, they're still going through the system, they will go directly into this one. And then I guess wherever the items go out at that end, they're going to go up and across and into the storage system that we're yet to build on that side. Alright, all in place, and I've been doing some crude testing. This one over here seems to be really great. This one on this side has something a bit off with it, and I found some repeaters that I placed in the wrong direction, but otherwise I'm not really sure. Wait a minute. No, that's set on the right delay. From back here it looks like those repeaters might be on the wrong delay. Something's a little bit off with this one here, and I'm not really sure what it is, so for now I'm going to knock it on the head, come back to it later on. One last thing to do really at the moment is to throw down a chest, not like that. Well, that's going to run through the entire system now, isn't it? There it goes. Like that is what I was looking for. Let's throw down a furnace here, just for the old furnace on top of hoppers rule. And right, that's it. We're sort of done, right? But no, there's of course more to do. There's always more to do. One of the things I want to do next is put a frame around all of this. So we're going to have blocks like so, and then it's going to go across the top of the chest down the other side, and we're going to leave a gap to the right where we can put blocks in here that represent what's in the chest. And by having that at the edge, it means you're always going to look to the right. And then we'll do the same thing over here as well. Actually, maybe we'll make it to the left on this side, so it's like mirrored. Yeah, that would make more sense, because then this wouldn't be above where that chest is for all the items that don't get sorted out. Well, I'm now rather tempted to sacrifice the layout that we got here, or the symmetry of it, and put an andesite pillar there going up and over and down. Do you know, I think I will actually do that. I think that'll look nicer overall. And also these blocks here I think we're going to replace with stone stairs, or at least stone bricks there, because we can still open the shulker box here. And another reason to have this frame is so when we break these, they sort of fall down in front of us and we can pick them up nice and easy. We don't have anything here. Like, I was thinking of putting stairs here as well, but then they'd sort of land on this ledge. You'd have to jump into it to pick up the items. And so over on this side we've got a gap up there because you wouldn't be able to open the chests at the top. So that's why we might put stone brick stairs across the top there. And then it'll also match with what we do on this side. This was such a good idea. Sea lanterns, no stone brick stairs, no. Decided to put a light source up there, and it's not like one of those ones that blends really well in with the build, but this is a kind of crazy looking build anyway, and it fits in over here perfectly as well. So now I feel like to complete all of this, because it connects on that side but it doesn't connect over here, let's also add a trim like that, put in our sea lanterns, and then I'm just thinking, do we want to leave it open or do we want to put the andesite underneath? I think that's the way to go right there. Let's take a step back and enjoy the view, so to speak. Yeah, that actually looks really, really good. Oh, that's nice. I'm happy with how that's turned out. So this was an unexpected part of the build. You can see I've put a frame down at this end. And yes, there's a 2-block bit on that side, I don't care. I kind of like the imperfections in this build. Like, that is 1 block in front over there, and over here it's 1 block back, so that means this bit is lower. Again, you got your 2 blocks and your 1 block there. It's all good. And there is one last bit to put in this area now, I guess. Actually, I want to have some glass underneath these chests. I'm not sure if we've run out. Wow, look at how many materials we have left, and I've run out of chests. The last and 5th part of our storage system is one that I've literally just thought of. We need a place to store stuff like armor and things that don't stack and valuables that we don't want running through our sorting system, and that's what these chests at the end here are going to be for. And then in the middle we'll have some blocks that sort of vaguely represent what's going on. And that is our storage system. It's not finished yet, but It's pretty impressive, right? So the goal of this episode wasn't to finish the sorting system, it was to build it. This project will take a very long time to do because we've got to move items over here, we've got to sort them, and that's kind of an organic process. You do it as you go along. Our aim here is to finish the octavoid. That means clearing up chests that have been left behind, sorting out bits of the glass that haven't been placed yet. Over here in this corner you can see that why is that always this baffles me. I've mentioned it before, or have I? I can't remember, but like some bits are really well lit up, like over here, yet there's nothing for the sun to come through up above. If we go look at the opposite side, you will see that it's not as well lit up, yet it's sort of this. Well, actually, that bit in that corner is there, but take this corner for example, darkness. This one over here, illuminated. Don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, we need to finish placing down the glass, so I got to scan over these areas. We've got a bit on either side there to do. We've got, I think, a little bit of this corner, or maybe it's just this area over here. So hopefully that stuff won't take too long. But the biggest eyesore of all is the nether portal, which is going to need a home now that I think about it. And also the prismarine block that has stuck out the side there for a very long time. Unfortunately, I built that in the wrong place, right? So what I've gone and done is build a little pathway just over there. And that means that we can run back and forth between this building and this here. So I am actually going to start filling this thing up with items, like one chest at a time. This one will be first. Let's go load some cobblestone into our system. I have some good news. It just so happens that the shulker boxes take priority over everything else, which just so happens to be what I wanted it to do. I guess if you were making a system like this and you didn't want that, they're going to be a pain in the butt, but it just happens to be what I want, and they go into the shulker boxes first. This won't be the first item that we store in bulk, because we've got bone meal, or actually that would be bones, won't it? It'd be nice if I could filter both of them, but that's not the way this game works. And yeah, I'm going to put a little item frame down there. Just happened to find a prismarine block which was the right colour. I was going to go with wool, but I think that would be a little bit more fitting. Now, in order to tell where it is, I want to shimmy across like that, and now I know where to put the filter. I was just thinking though, how's this going to work with ender pearls? Because what you usually do is put in 41 items, okay? But these ones are like non-stackable. Sorry? They stack into 16, so the rules are now slightly different. Let's see how many items go down. My theory is that it will still work the exact same way, yeah. So now any items coming across, let's go... Well, actually, let's not chuck them into there, because then they'll go down into these hoppers. So hopefully this doesn't pass straight into the next one. It should go through there. Very good, very good. It appears to be working, and then it will make its way into this shulker box. Aha, but we don't have a full stack. So did some of them go into, like, a different place? Where did the rest of them go? So, I'm about an hour into this. We've almost filled up all of our cobblestone and stone. Those silos are probably not big enough. I've been thinking about maybe adding an extension that's like out of sight, where it just takes more of the stuff out once it's full. This is the state of this room now. So there were like chest pillars going all the way to the top, and I'm considering, and probably will, just ditching these prismarine shards, because we're farming them, we got more than we're ever going to need, and they're just going to get moved around a lot, right? So I think what would be wise to do is like chuck these all out. Isn't there like a way to chuck them all out on the ground? That'd be nice. I need like an item destroying machine now. But yeah, it's going to take a few more hours to get all of the items out of here. Now I remember, you want to hold down Control and press Q, or R if you have rebound it to the R key like I have. So my idea there was that I accidentally press Q every now and then, but when I try and press T to open up chat, I accidentally press it as well, and yeah, you're always going to at some point accidentally press that key, but Control and the throw key is the one to use here. Progress is slow, but progress is happening. We're removing away things, but the things that are left behind are making me think that we're going to need more chests out here. There is a lot of junk, there is a lot of stuff that I don't know what to do with, like all these chests full of books, and I'm thinking what we now need is an additional storage area. One of the things that I hadn't factored in was that not everything needs to go through the sorting system, and some stuff is just literally sitting there and I don't want to throw it away. Like, I've got loads and loads of fish which might come in useful for a prank, and I don't want to run it all through my sorting system and have it fill up most of my chests, because there is loads of the stuff here. So I'm thinking what we'll do is make a little room behind here. So rather than have blocks here, which is the original plan, it'll actually be an open walkway into another little section where we'll probably put a double stack of chests there, a gap, a double stack, and create like a little symmetrical room here. But I was also thinking, rather than keep adding extra segments in that direction or this direction of our storage area, we could also have a little walkway that goes out here, which sounds kind of crazy, and just put some chests in this area. And I thought it'd be really cool to see all of the redstone like in and around the chests as well. So that's something that we might do. And I haven't closed this up at all. I kind of appreciate the view a little bit now, because it's kind of cool to see into the redstone, whereas when you're facing this way, you can barely see any of it. Okay, quick and brief update. Items are being put into these chests. As you can see, they're filling up with all sorts of stuff. So here is the latest for this room. Man, it's taking so much time. It's another hour, by the way. Probably going to do these updates every hour, and put our first block dedicated to this part of the storage. So down the bottom here, obsidian is dedicated to this chest, and that's all we got so far. Fast forward again, and I've done a bit of tidying up around here, namely putting some ender chests down in these corners, but I think actually they'll probably suit being in the middle like this one is here. And below it I put a crafting bench which you can access, but it's not particularly easy. I need to find somewhere to put those. Maybe I'll just put them like on the side here and replace those blocks. So I can't remember if I showed this, but there's now, yeah, I think I did, this area. And this is the chests that we're down to now, so nothing but junk left. I've successfully moved all the stone and cobblestone over. The portal has been removed as well, and now these silos have been expanded. So you can see that they have like an extra bit that peels off the back here and then goes down like that. And they are all full and loaded full of stone and cobble. So much so that I don't think there's even any room for any more in the system. And the last thing that you'll notice I've changed here is the nether portal. Absolutely brilliant position for that thing to be, because it kind of separates the room behind it from this room really well, and it looks good from this side as well. You know, it sort of fits in there, and it's a brilliant transition through to this area. So I've done as much sorting as I can. I've added in a few more chests over here into the system, and then I've just piled everything else into these chests right here. So we've still got a mass jumble of items, but this thing is empty now, and that means that we can tear it down and finally get rid of this big ugly box that's been sitting here for way too long. Well, there we go. No surprise, it's left a big hole in the wall. I sort of wasn't expecting to see that, but it makes complete sense now. So we have a little bit of work to do there. We've also got that end over there to patch up, and I believe there's a whole bunch of dragon eggs in there. And then I still think there's a few more bits and bobs. We're basically doing the last of it now. Like, I've got to go up there and find out why I left that ladder there, and then we've got to lay down all of the glass as well. Feels kind of crazy to bring this one to its end, but the octavoid is basically finished. All of the glass has been put into all of the sides, and I've cleaned up a little bit of mess over here. It's done, peeps. It's actually done. The octavoid itself is finished. Of course, we're left with a big job here to do to move all the items in, and over here there is actually a little gap for us to walk through to this area where we've got tons of stuff that needs sorting out as well. But you know, that will take me months. It will take me months to sort out items into this system, and basically what I'm going to do is, as I do my project, steadily move things back over here. And now I discover that no, it's not finished. I've still left some more junk chests about. Okay, finally all tidied up, and we're left with this chest. It's got some other junk in. Like, I was thinking about putting a dragon egg on top of one of these blocks and just dedicating one of those to the dragon egg, but maybe I should put it in storage since it's, you know, a unique block that we have duplicated. And this is kind of what we're left over with, by the way. So a few comparators and repeaters, and then loads of chests, because of course we use loads, but we also tore loads down from the other area and built them up in this one as well. And that is the Octavoid project. Finito. Can you believe I'm saying it? Peeps, that has been Epicsode 3. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like on this video. I know I said there wouldn't be another one, but I kind of changed my mind, and that will be the last Epicsode that we do on this server. So I do hope you have enjoyed it. I put an insane amount of time into this episode, so I really do hope you have. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.